Welcome to the ENG 2602 remedial presentation. I am Ms. Neo Maseko, your English lecturer, and will be taking you through the conventional essay structure. I will also be discussing errors that were identified during the marking process. In a conventional essay, we have an introduction which briefly states the intention of the essay, followed by the body, which is a detailed development of ideas in paragraphs that each have one main idea and supporting details. Finally, we have the conclusion, which is a concise summing up of the main points discussed in the essay. No new ideas may be introduced at this point. The main idea should be logically developed in cohesive, coherent sentences through the use of connectors and with transitional guides. Your argument needs to be supported with facts from the given source. You should therefore use the text to substantiate the assertions you made. Here are some of the deviations from convention that were encountered. Some essays had no introduction or conclusion. Some of those that had these elements were long, with details that were either not imperative or that did not serve the intended purpose at that point. There were a few cases where there were multiple introductions. In other essays, new ideas were introduced in the conclusion, which actually means that it is no longer a conclusion but a new paragraph. Paragraphing is also a cause for concern that we shall look at in detail later. If you look at this introduction, you will see that it is not only long, but a number of details that are given are not necessary at this point, as they can and should be discussed later in the body. Mentioning the father's broken nose and having no say in his fate, for example, will need further elaboration, which is not the purpose of an introduction. This candidate was obviously trying to respond to what and who as stipulated, but ended up with what seems like 3 introduction. This is how this introduction should have been phrased. There is an example. By removing the excess details and summarizing the main concept, we now have a more concise introduction that will give a clear direction of what the body will focus on. If you look at this paragraph, it's an example of flawed paragraphing. The first part clearly has this main idea, as you can see, and topic sentence is clear. However, the next 2 paragraphs do not discuss any new ideas. So by right, they should be part of the first paragraph instead of the segments they are presently. This helps to avoid repetition and improve structure because the 2 single sentences cannot be regarded as paragraphs. This is how the paragraph should have been structured. As you can see, there is the main idea, which is expressed in the form of a topic sentence. Now let's look at an example of a flawed conclusion. This conclusion comes in 3 parts. However, by applying summary skills, it can become one concise paragraph. This brings us to the end of our session, and I hope that you will find this useful. Thank you, and all the best in your studies. Thank you.